Right, it's Sunday morning and we're doing Q&A. I know I've been doing a lot of live streams, but I think I finally have the best days to go ahead and live stream, which are going to be Saturday and Sunday mornings and Wednesday afternoons. So I'm going to try that, and we'll probably have to change my banner or something. I don't want to change my banner, but I had to start having these times on. Wow, we already got someone here. Hey, thanks. Let's go ahead and check out the thing. Hey, what's up, David? Nice talking to you on Coding Tutorials 360. Actually, that's something that we're going to be talking about. We're actually going to be on Coding Tutorial 360, and by we, I mean me. But it's going to be about injecting yourself into the coding community when you are in like a remote area, like me. So I'm in Idaho Falls. There's like a population of 60,000. And then the next town is Pocatello, the biggest one, and that's like 50,000 or 60,000, really small places. So yeah, I'll talk about how I got started and how you can too, for any of you that are in like isolated areas. So let's see, we got a lot of people in the comments today. Hey, thanks for coming, guys. Hey, John, how's it going? I'm not sure. Was it you who asked if I was going to do a live stream today? I wasn't going to, but you inspired me to do so. So here we are. Doing a live stream. Of course, if you guys have any questions, let me know. But what I'm actually want the focus to be, hey Corey, what's going on? You started Andrew Me's React course. It is very good. Now, as you go on through the course, like I think I'm like 60% of the way done, it starts to get more complex. So keep that in mind. It's hard to keep track of things, but it did tons of stuff for me. So when I use the Create React app, I know what's going on. I know how to change it and eject it, and so now I'm actually building out the project for real. And I'll talk more about that in my vlog, but it's a good course. So I'll be on Coding Tutorials 360, and we're just fielding questions, seeing what type of questions you guys have with working remote. So yeah, so here we are, John. You inspired me to go ahead and wake up this morning and do this. I'm a little bit later than I'd like to be, but that happens. So trying to set this schedule, trying to find what days work best. I don't know if you heard me, but I said Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and Wednesday, like at lunchtime. So I'll try to live stream those times. It's kind of crazy, but live streams are fun. Live streams are kind of easy to do, especially when you guys are here. So thanks for coming, asking the questions, hanging out. Do any of you live in like a remote area by chance? When you started to do web development. So let me know so we can ask coding tutorials, or rather we can put that in the video, on his video. Let's see, David says, despite working remote, would you consider relocating to a job if the pay was right? That's like a no-brainer. I'm not actually like a remote developer. I have to go into the office. I should have rephrased that. There's not a lot of developers here, like at all. I mean, like the people that do code, like most of them are like C# or Java or something, but I don't think I've ever met like a web developer here. No, I know I haven't. That's a fact. I haven't added a web developer. Sorry, I'm getting kind of camera happy here, so if I'm switching too many times between this camera, just let me know. Of course, I think anyone would if the pay was right, but it's not just about pay. It's about what your career is going to be like, what the culture is like, all those sorts of things. And let's see, maybe I should invite people from my Facebook today. What do you guys think? Should I invite people from Facebook to watch me live so we can ask questions? Let me know in the comments. Sorry about the wait here. I'm just waiting on you guys. It's all you. No, that's not true. But today is mostly about Q&A. We did portfolio for about 3 days. I kind of got a grasp on that. If you guys have any like topics for live streams, let me know too, because we can definitely do that. Q&A is very broad, so not a big deal, or excuse me, it's something to think about rather. Let's see here. If we're watching, I'm just going through the Facebook. I'm in a Facebook group. I'll share it with you guys in a moment. As soon as I get it up here. The Facebook group is about programmers, so we'll see if they're into doing live streams or not. But having 3 people here, like with less than 4 minutes, that's awesome. John says, what's using system fonts? Are you talking about like my portfolio? Let me know. Give me some more detail on that. If you're talking about that, I'm using Google Fonts. It's just the easiest one to insert into React. So, and it's not too hard. You can just look up like a few. You can look up a few, you know, blog posts and stuff. Kind of confusing, kind of hard. Let me make sure. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate you guys waiting here for this. Oh, it looks like Coding Tutorials is live right now. How funny. That's cool. Definitely check him out. Do you guys all know who Dylan is from Coding Tutorials 360? Now, for those of you who are watching later, let me go ahead and just show his channel so you can see it, and we'll get back to that live stream. Let's go ahead and bring him up on screen. Using system fonts, suggesting a quick topic. Gotcha. Sorry about that. Let's see. All right. So here we go. Yeah. Okay. So here is Coding Tutorials channel. He does a lot of stuff, live streams, of course, but you know, just all sorts of things. And he is more senior than me, so he has some different questions or has a different perspective. But you know, we're all different. We all have something to contribute. So that's why I'm going to be on his channel talking about working in a, you know, an area without a lot of developers and how to get involved in the coding community. So definitely check him out after this live stream, of course. Don't leave me. But check him out for sure. Cool guy. David says, what's been the biggest hurdle for you in your progression as a web developer? The biggest hurdle? Probably just like the lack of like ever talking to someone like one-on-one, or having someone review my code one-on-one, or like being able to be involved in those projects that are already been like have already been built by others. As far as like, you know, like our type of web development goes, that's probably been the biggest hurdle. But I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker. But yeah, stick to David. He's got better questions. But yeah, these are good questions that for a live stream. It's kind of hard because, you know, I kind of set you guys up because you know, this is Q&A too. So we talk about it right here. But you know, I can focus in on these as well. I'm going to go ahead and share this with the Self-Taught Programmers Club. Let's go ahead and put that on screen if you guys want to become a part of that. So here is the Self-Taught Programmers Club. You know, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Some of these people are newer, or you know, it's just anyone can join. So you might see some other stuff. Let's talk. Let's see. What should we say? Let's talk web development. Come join us on my live stream. All right. Let's go ahead and post that. There we go. See what we have here. Lol, thanks. Yeah, David. So, does anyone not know who Dylan Israel is from Coding Tutorial? Let me know in the comments. Oh, we have to wait for a review on that submission. Oh, that's too bad. Oh well. We'll wait. We will wait. Corey says no. So, man, Corey, I would think that you would know. You're the man when it comes to this. What's up, Neil? Thanks for coming. So yeah, definitely check him out. But I'll share that video when it's up. He is fast at getting videos out. He normally does them on the weekends. So you could probably expect that to go up relatively soon. You know, it's mostly on me. So I'll shoot it today. Uh-oh, Neil retracted his message. That's alright, Neil. No big deal. So yeah, didn't mean to call you out there, Neil. It's just when you go live, you know, Definitely cool. What's up, Neil? You were there at Coding Tutorial 360 yesterday, right? Let's see. Oh, you said hi to David twice. Yeah, don't do that. He'll never be your friend. I think you're fine. So like we said, what are some of the hurdles that you guys have had? Are any of you in a like remote area? By remote, I mean where there aren't a lot of developers or web developers to be specific, or any developers in the topic that you're studying or working in. Let me know and what those biggest hurdles are, and I'll try to address them in Coding Tutorials video, or Dylan Israel. Yeah, I asked about your streaming schedule. Yeah, Neil, I kind of worked it out before you got here. The days I think I'm going to do it are Saturday. I'm pretty sure. Like, this is because I can't like do it. I can't do live streams all the time. I've done a lot. So Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and Wednesday at lunchtime, like my time, which is like noon Mountain Time, and then morning is like 10 o'clock. So Saturday 10 o'clock, Sunday 10 o'clock, Wednesday at noon. Those are the times that I found have the best like interaction so far. But part of it is just, you know, I keep on live streaming, so you guys are here and interacting. So that's another huge part of the live stream, the live stream technique. So yeah, we're just here to answer questions. I guess David says, I guess you could say the web devs I'm looking to link up with are a bit too far. Yeah, me too, to meet up. 30, 45 minutes. Oh, mine are like 2 hours, but I feel you, man. More difficult when balancing a full-time job. Yeah, so what I do for the most part, and you know, I'll give you a quick answer here, and then we'll condense it down in the formatted video. What I do is tons of video chats. I use Zoom. I got put onto that by Madison Kana. You can look her up. I had an interview with her. So I did Zoom, and that's great. But you have to really be involved, whether it be with YouTube or Medium or Quora, and then actually send a message or something. But you have to contribute back, I find, if you're going to do something like that. So Madison is in California, like in a big city. And then I have my friend Lee, and he's in Arizona. And then let's see, who else do I use? Skype, Dylan, but we usually do like something like Facebook, and he's in Florida. And so just using Zoom, but you got to find the right people to use it. But you know, we're in the tech space, so a lot of people will do that. But that's more like a one-on-one thing. The biggest thing for me is social media, but I'll go into detail on that using Quora, using YouTube, using LinkedIn. Those are my main ones that I use. Twitter too now. I've started to use a little bit more Twitter, but as soon as I hit 100 videos, I'll start scheduling out like all my videos. Not all of them, but most of them on Twitter once a day for a whole week, and like switching like each hour that they go out to see if it will improve my views or improve my social status, or just make everyone think I am a spammer. so it's an experiment I'll do and do for you guys, but social media is really the way to do that for me. And it doesn't have to be YouTube for everyone. I just do YouTube because it's a high barrier to entry. It's harder to do, but anyone can do it. I mean, even these live streams, anyone can do that, right? With a little bit of experience, and where you're learning web development, it's not out of your grasp to learn how to do these live streams. Let's go back to the questions. David says, have you done a video collaboration with... No, I'm not doing a video collaboration with Chris Sean. No. It's not for me. You guys have told me so much about Chris Sean. I was like, who is this guy? And then I heard about him on another channel. I was like, okay. And I think his content has... I haven't seen a video about web development. I guess there's like, I've seen them up, but I haven't really watched them. It's more like a vlogging channel. So for me, it was kind of like the old the old bait and switch. But you know, people change over time, or channels change over time. But you know, it wasn't for me. With the whole relationship stuff going on. So let's see. Neil says, David, you should sign up for the mentorship Joe is doing. Who is Joe? Let me know in the comments. I don't know who Joe is. But yeah. You know, it's hard to you know, grow a channel. I think being negative now with the way that YouTube is set up, they've kind of put you know, like a filter on some of those, you know, explosive channels, but some of them work, you know. Maybe it works for Chris or Sean Chris or Chris Sean, I don't know, but I don't want to take that approach to this channel. It's a lot of video editing, and at the same time I don't feel like it's going to bring you value, you know, as far as like changing your actual life, rather than just telling you about my day, which I do. But it's strictly about web development, you know, with a few, okay, maybe it's not strictly, but for the most part it's web development. David says he has his website with courses on it. Oh, Joe's channel, Coding Phase. Oh yeah, I keep on hearing that. Corey says bait and switch, damn. No, I don't think it was intentional, but you're like, I want to learn about web development. I want to learn about that DOM manipulation. And then you get there and it's like, so my girlfriend broke up with me and I'm really sad, and I'm just like, but I want to learn about DOM manipulation, man. so that's how I feel about it. So didn't want to spam your chat with other channel info. Hey, appreciate it, Neil. But we're all here to learn, so yeah, check out Coding Phase. I had to check him out because you guys have been telling me about him. I'll check him out later for sure, because if you tell me enough about someone, I'm gonna check him out, just like Chris Sean. So Corey says, what does Corey say? Corey says you should mimic ESPN's strategy by getting political in your discussions. That may drive viewers. It may get me banned, and I'm not about political commentary, man. It just it's not good for my career, and it's not something that gives me motivation or anything like that. You know, it's like if someone's going to hire me for a contract job, or someone at work sees like something like that, I think that it could be a real problem in this day and age. Corey's halfway joking. Hey man, I got to get there. It might get me, oh yeah, Neil, it might get me demonetized. I've had that happen to me like every 3 or so videos. So just by saying that, or having it in the chat, who knows? Maybe we'll get that. We'll see. But every time that I request it to be removed, it's removed. I haven't had it not removed once so far. Sometimes it might take like a week, but it usually gets removed. Corey says TechCrunch does the same thing. It's sad. Talks about political stuff, man. I mean, then they're not playing by YouTube's rules. They're playing by like Google's rules. And so it's a little bit different there. But yeah, I mean, it's good for them, but I don't know if it's really good for you guys. That's my opinion. But there's plenty of other sources where, you know, people can get that. I tried to do something unique on this channel, but you know, that's vlogging, but vlogging about my experience, so you can see me grow and see, oh, I did this or I did that wrong, or the resources that I use, and hopefully get better from that. So yeah, let me know if that's something you experience, or why you actually subscribe to this channel. The reasons why, that helps me form this channel a lot. David says, Ricky, is there a particular JavaScript framework that you'll eventually branch off on and focus on? Of course, if there's one, it's got to be React. React is the one. I also use Node, but that's not really like a framework. Node and Express, so it's got to be React, Node, Express, and MongoDB. I know how to use all of them. Am I an expert? Absolutely not. Am I a noob? I'm a little bit above a noob. I mean, you can't be great at all those things in your first year, but I know how each of them works, and I've studied them hardcore. Like MongoDB, I studied pretty hardcore, but I need more to go on, because like I studied it, and then I didn't know how to use Node.js very well, and so that kind of like broke the MERN stack, right? And then from there, I learned a little bit more React, and Node helped there. And now, like, I'm able to put them together and see how they fit. So I'm confident I can build whatever I need, given enough time, of course. But it's not like a question of I don't know how to do this. It's I have a foundation to build upon. Nick, hey, nice to see you here, man. Coding Phase is great. Joe has some great courses. I'm working through the React course right now. Awesome. John White says, what was your first day as a developer like? It was pretty daunting, I'm sure, for everyone. I just, I didn't know what I was doing. It was my first time in a developer job. Now, this was a unique job, so I have some other responsibilities, but I did a lot of learning, and a lot of learning on HubSpot. A ton on HubSpot, because that was the that is the content management system that we use. But going into like code and stuff and making your first commit was scary. And I do have a video on making your first commit, or making my first commit to the web, so you can look that up later if you'd like. It's one of my older videos before I got really serious about YouTube. But terrifying. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I feel like that all the time. But I learned that's just what happens, and then you figure it out. You Google everything. Make sure you know what you can do, or know what you're supposed to do. So yeah, scary. And the other thing is like, I started coding a little bit, but I had been doing social media, so I kind of had a break. So that was kind of scary too. Now it's not a big deal. I know I can do something. It might take me a while, but I'm honest up front, and I research the heck out of something, and then take all the necessary resources and then build a project. And it can be daunting, but not a big deal. And these are great topics, by the way, John. So yeah, I can definitely do this. I need to do these as live stream topics, and then the ones that do well, format them into a produced piece, which I did with dealing with negative people. That will come out on Tuesday. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. I should probably be writing these down. I'll have to go back through the comments later and write these down. Any other questions so far? Sorry, just gotta take a sip of coffee. For those of you who don't know, this is the Villa. It's a coffee shop. It's a public spot. So I do look like a crazy person, for your benefit. So the things I do for you guys, crazy. David says, have you found learning code and working as a remote web developer been challenging to balance with family obligations? It depends. It depends on what you mean by that. Like direct family? No. But people like my mom and dad and live in 45 minutes down the road, and my brother lives in Boise, which is 3 hours away. So I don't see them very much, and that's okay, because this first year I have to be working. But other than that, I make sure to prioritize stuff. Dylan Israel, Coding Tutorial 360, put it really well. He doesn't make commitments for a reason. It's hard to make a lot of commitments, and it will stress you out. So sometimes my dad will visit me, and I'll try to spend 2 hours, but they know that I'm working. I'm not doing anything, and that's just something that we have to accept. So no, you do have to have a balance. With immediate stuff, and not a big deal. Dedicate 1 to 2 hours every single day, and then to family, and then 2 to 3 hours to web development. And I won't get started on web development until on the weekdays 9, and go till 11:30 to midnight, and then go to bed at 1, and then wake up at 7. So that's what I do. And then on the weekends I'll go to bed at maybe 11 and wake up at 8. So you got to make some sacrifices, and I don't think that's forever. The more you do this, the easier it gets, and sometimes you need your sleep and you can't do that. So I'll take maybe 1 day off of coding and do video instead. Nick says, do you think you must have frequent flyer miles or something at the coffee shop? You're there so much. You know, I do that a lot. As much as you're there, I suspect the employees know your name. No, not on this one. It takes a while. It takes about 3 months. So it's funny that you bring that up. I usually go to Starbucks, or I used to. And I just went last night because I don't normally go there. I go here now because it's kind of quiet. There's not as much music. And the barista there, she told me, where you been? Like, we don't see you anymore. Are you going to keep... You should come here now. They know my name over there. And in Pocatello, they knew my name. Like, everyone knew my name. Here, not so much. I just kind of come in, do my thing. I might probably just weird them out with my camera gear here. So yeah, I think it's kind of funny, Nick, that you said that. I probably go to coffee shops. Well, this week I was here 5 times, but probably 3 times minimum. I went to Cool Beans. It's kind of cold there, and the Wi-Fi doesn't work, and then, as well, and it's cold. Sorry, and the music plays. But they know who I am. They don't know my name. So, yeah, you just have to go for about 3 months consistently for like maybe 3 times a week, and they'll know your name. That's funny. Oh, got a new comment. Let's see. Nick says, do they ever ask what on earth you're doing? No. No. I mean, sometimes I tell them, but I mean, it's obvious what I'm doing. But it's a skill, you know, to do live stream and then do it in public. So people probably think you're weird. And I still feel that way, especially when someone like looks directly at me. But you get over it, you know. I'd rather hang out with you guys, and if you're doing YouTube, you're probably a little bit outgoing, and so it just wears off after a while. So it's not as big of a deal. Like before, there's this room next to me, actually, like over here where I'm looking. I don't want to point there because there's just a guy in there, and I would go in there, but now I just have this table over here and just put it up. Try to keep it out of the way of a bunch of people, so they're not on camera. Samantha Kobath, Ricky. So you guys, I was telling you about Starbucks and how people know my name. Samantha is one of the baristas from that Pocatello Starbucks. So when I say people know who I am because I go to coffee shops so much, it's true. Samantha, that's how I know her, and she's awesome. David says, if you consider starting a meetup group in the city you're in, there's already a meetup group actually, and there's only so much you can do, you know. You can only, like, I mean, I do live streams, and I'll do live streams about 2 or 3 times a week, and then I'll do a produced piece on Saturday, and usually something else there. So that's like 5 pieces. Now, live streams are much easier, so, you know, it's maybe like 3 hours max, but then a produced piece can take 3 to 4 hours. So trying to set up a meetup is just not possible with those family obligations, you know. Yeah, you do have to balance that, and then also learning React or whatever. Right now it's all about React at home. So yeah, Samantha says, we miss you, come back. She's talking about going back to Pocatello. Man, I was there all the time. That's where I actually started learning a lot of web development, was in Starbucks. It's kind of funny to kind of come full circle. So, you know, Samantha could tell you all about that and how I was always on my computer with my headphones rocking out. And I was quiet for about 3 months, and then they finally knew my name. So, yeah. Sam, it's great to see you again, kind of, like this. But I will come there, and I will see you. But if you can kind of see if you can back me up and tell them a little bit about how it was when you first met me at that coffee shop as a barista, and how weird it was, or what your first initial reaction was, that'd be great. Any other questions so far about web development, or about my life, or about studying coffee shops, anything like that? What's my favorite Pokemon? I don't have one. I don't play Pokemon. 7 people watching. Wow, that's impressive. Thanks, guys and gals. Sam, what do you think of the villa, by the way? Sam is actually from this area. I know I'm giving out a lot of information there, but you know, let these guys know about the villa. And if you guys are like ever curious about this area, David says, would you consider mentoring? Well, David, I have to at least get a year of like professional experience down before I even think about that. I think within a year, what I want to do is actually do like a course on maybe like HTML foundations, then a CSS foundations course, then a JavaScript foundations course. Definitely, I would do that. But like mentoring, I don't think. I mean, I'm qualified. Yeah, I could take your money, rob you blind, but I don't want to do that. You know, give me some time. Sam says it's true. You became one of us. It was fun though. You incorporated us into what you were doing. Oh, sorry about that. You incorporated us into what you're doing. So fun. We learned along with you. It is true. I told him all about web development, and like I was also doing social media and YouTube and stuff. And so when I was doing YouTube, I think I had maybe 100 subscribers, and by the time I left I had 500, and now here we are with 1,750 subscribers, which is really fun. Or reviewing other devs' portfolios. You know, I could do that, but my portfolio is kind of weak right now. So I need to get a good portfolio myself before I start giving, you know, like paid advice. But you guys can always drop them here, and we can look over it and do stuff like that, and maybe have dedicated, maybe, you know, when we get a little bit bigger, dedicated Q&As for that. Neil says, at some point, will you be doing tutorials? You know, David, I think it's inevitable that I will. It's just trying to get that skill, because, you know, all of these have been done. Like a ton of things have been done, and there's just so many tutorials under the sun, and so many people that are more skilled than me. So I had to figure out, like, how can I do this differently? I want to do HTML and CSS because, one, they're easy. Two, I know a lot about it. You know, it's not too hard. There may be a lot of courses out there, but I know with, you know, my continual video production and presenting and doing live streams and just talking naturally and stuff, I'd be able to have an edge that way. And then by just learning so much through online tutorials, that's how I built this channel, was on online tutorials. I'll be able to give something different and unique for that first person, or for whoever's looking to improve their HTML foundations, versus like, oh yeah, I've been doing this forever, you know, because it's very easy. Like when it's like a lot of these guys that start, they started as, you know, professionals, and it's one of the few times that they've taught a course. So it's like reading from a script, but without any variation within their tone, and that's very important. So it's very flat when they talk about something. The HTML tag is the main tag of, you know, a web page. Very, you know, monotone. It's very hard to get some interesting stuff in there. And then being able to be on camera and then have interesting examples, maybe a little bit of animation, but I think Pluralsight does a lot of that. I would do it on Pluralsight. David says, got time to check my portfolio? David, yes. Remind me in about 15 minutes, and we will go ahead and do that. But I want to dedicate some more time just to hanging out, and then we'll get into your portfolio. But absolutely. Corey McCoy says, what do you do? What? I'm trying to look at this camera and read your comment. That's not possible. Hold on. Corey says, what do you of some of the? Let me read this first. What do you of some of the controversial marketing that some of these for-profit education companies are doing? I think I need some more context there, Corey. David says, do you post on Discord? I don't. The only place I post is Twitter, YouTube, sometimes Facebook. So, not all the time. Corey says, what do some of the controversial marketing, what do I think of some of the controversial marketing, controversial marketing tactics they use? You know, it's tough. They are for profit, but if you're comparing some of these coding, you know, sites to something like Phoenix, I don't think they're anything like them. You know, Phoenix, I feel like they could say a lot of things, and I'm starting to see that, hey, they're not doing so well, and the prices are very high, versus something like Western Governors, which is an online school, and it's accredited isn't, and then like Treehouse, Pluralsight, I mean, the option is so low, you know, it's like 25 bucks. And then if you're going to get like the tech degree, it's like 500 or so bucks. Let me know what it actually is if you guys know. So I don't think it's too bad. You know, it's not like they are going to ruin their lives over it. Yeah, it takes some time, but when, you know, a lot of people have time to do that versus like putting 20, 40 grand into a tech degree. or Udacities, you know, they might be expensive, but they're not that expensive. So even if you didn't get what you wanted out of the course, you're not going to ruin your life over it. David says, I think so. What do you think of some of the, Corey says, what do you think of some of the controversial, yeah, I put 2 and 2 together there, Corey. Thanks for typing it out again, though. David said, got minimal feedback. Could you tell me more about that minimal feedback? Are you talking about, like, Udacity? Corey says, Udacity's Facebook ads, I now make $135K with data analyst nano degree. You know, sometimes you got to play, but there are different ways to do it. You know, the social media team has to be held accountable by someone, but maybe that's coming from the top. But yeah, I see what you're saying about that. I don't like that, but it's what sells. It kind of sucks, to be honest. So yeah, but sometimes they're right. I mean, I got the front-end nano degree, and now I work as a front-end web developer. You know, no one told me to say that, and it's totally true. Of course, I put in a ton of work after that, but that was the thing that gave me the edge, the thing that pushed me up to the top. Corey says, I think Udacity's CEO is cooler. Sebastian Thuron, I think. He is cool. Someday, I just like to talk to him, be interviewed by him. Sebastian, get me on that. Hashtag get Ricky on Udacity. No, he is a cool guy. They have some cool stuff. They are growing, and I think they're putting out more courses before they're ready, like this React course. I think I was part of the first cohort. I don't think it was put together too well. Vish. Oh, Vish. Okay. I'll have to look into that. Sorry, man. So, you know, we can talk about that. These are all good courses. Like I said, these are great topics that I'll have to dive into, and I'll go back through the comments section and go through this again. So, definitely. Corey says, oh, he's very immoral in my honest opinion. Well, we'll have to do some review on him maybe, and look into that. You know, but at the same time, this channel isn't about like the political stuff, but if it has an impact on someone's life or something, we can talk about it from that part, versus like morality, you know, but things to be aware of and stuff. You know, that's something we can talk about versus, you know, good versus bad. More like, is it good for you? Or, hey, you should heed this warning. So. Neil, who was it? Oh, David, if you want to go ahead and put that, give me some way to pull up your portfolio, we can go ahead and take a look at it. I don't know if it's been 15 minutes, but it feels like it. So let's go ahead and check out David's portfolio here. Let's see if anyone from the programming group comes and visits us. It's taking a while here. What should we talk about while we wait for David to get that portfolio up? I guess what's coming up for this week, we haven't talked about that. For me, you know, actually doing my portfolio, I'm gonna go just, you know, do the normal life stuff, get groceries, do some cleaning, and then just sit down, code. 7 o'clock rolls around, pull out the lights, pull out the cameras, record my vlog on Udacity, record my part for Coding Tutorials channel, and then we will do the same thing over again. Udacity. I'm done with Andrew Mead's course for now. I'm stuck on the part with Jess, but at the same time I'm like, I don't understand. Neil says, do you have Discord, Ricky? I do not. Oh, and here's David's site, deltayankee.net. I'll pull that up, and while I pull that up, you know, feel free to send in more questions. I'll get to them as soon as I can. Oh, there we go. Here's David Yang's portfolio. I think Is it this deltayankee.net.qstack.com? I'm not sure. Sorry about the wait here, guys. Here we go. Cool, David. I got you up. I got you, man. Corey says, I think you could do a video bashing Udacity's. I cannot do that. I don't want to bash anyone. There's no reason to. I don't know who he is. They've helped me get a job. I'm not going to do that, Corey, but thanks for the suggestion anyways. You know, that's why I ask you guys for these, for things that I would have never thought of doing. So, yeah, thanks for putting that out there. Hey, what's up, Inash? Thanks for coming. Yeah, that's the other thing is, you're right, it might bring up a lot of viewers and subscribers, but I don't want to grow my channel that way. I don't think I've ever done that. Bash away the simplicity of the portfolio, David says. Alright, let's get you on here, man. Let's get your portfolio on here. Bam! Look at that. You know your marketing. Simple call to action. Hello, my name is David. I'm a front-end developer living in Westfield, Indiana. This is still great, you know, because you have one. It's more simple than mine, and you would think that's bad, but no. You can read everything, right? Here's your about. Here's your services, UX and UI, front-end development. It is short, but I can go to everything I need. Let's see, works. It's just done in basic HTML. No hate. I haven't even, like, I don't think I've ever posted something up from like a server yet, like of my own, like, you know, done the whole thing. I'll probably host on Heroku, but I think Firebase is another thing. So here's a game that you've made. I don't know how it works, but I won. You know, and you have something up, and that's what matters, is you have something up. Traversity Media. I would keep going. Of course, I would try to get into social media, whether that be Twitter or LinkedIn articles or Medium articles. You can just talk about what you do, but yeah, you can even send a message. So good for you, man. Good for you. It's very simple, but it is very functional. There's no clutter. I like this. But the truth, I mean, but the question is can we go responsive? Looks pretty responsive to me. Works, contact. I would like to see this kind of cleaned up here. You know, home should line up with contact. I know that's kind of hard. And then when you get to a lower, like a smaller screen size, take the font and bring down the font size a bit, like maybe something like that. That's just a suggestion, though. You know. But thanks for showing that. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad for a start because it's all functional. I can get everything I need. Let's see. Corey says good alignment. David said, oh, Corey says, David, your portfolio is way better than mine. John says, I really like the color game. It's awesome. Good alignment. Hey, Ricky. Inash says, so what are you saying is going Udemy route better than Udacity? Inash, give me just a moment here. Let me try to get myself back on screen. Yes, I would go there first. Then when you feel like you hit like a roadblock, try to find those places where you're lacking. And sometimes you won't know. But try to find those and then go to Udacity. Because sometimes you won't know what you're lacking until you actually go through the course. And that's part of what's been great about this React course. I've done a lot of front end, like, you know, CSS and HTML, and a little bit of jQuery for just like adding classes and stuff and doing things like scrolling to the different div. But when I took the Udacity course, it made me get serious about programming in general. So I didn't know, you know, the things I needed to know until I got into the course, and I hit a huge roadblock with Redux and even with React, and I had to jump up my ES6, my actual programming, my JavaScript, even my backend, you know, and I did that at work, but it's helped out a ton because you have to know all this programming stuff versus markup language. David Yang says the contact part still hasn't been finished up. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work, man. where this is like an HTML, like how you're gonna hook that up. I use Node Mailer, but you need like a Node server to do that. Maybe just switch it out to like an email address or something, with a hyperlink to mail. Let's see here. David, just keep updating as you learn more, Neil says. David, I would, if I were you, I would not keep updating as you learn more. I mean, what I would do actually is do like a complete overhaul as you learn more, because the more you learn, the more things you're going to do, the more experience you're going to have. And then just do a complete overhaul and then do it again and again. But that's just my, my opinion. So maybe in like 3 or 4 months, do the whole thing over and add everything all at once, because you're going to find out like, oh, I did this weird stuff. One thing that I found out that I've been having a hard time with in the past is doing styling on IDs. Now there's specificity with IDs, tags, and classes, and IDs blow everything out of the water. Tags are, everywhere. So it's hard to keep everything organized. So using object-oriented CSS is a solution to that I found recently, like last month or so. I've heard about it, but I started to really understand what's going on within the last month. And so using object CSS will help organize your stuff. You're going to find things like that all the time, and rather than just do it incrementally, things will be broken and you can't do that. Start up again and use this as a reference. But that's just my opinion. So let's see here. Inyasha, David, there's a Traversing Media that shows you how to do the forms. I think it's in his Express video. Yeah, I used it to help me out. I didn't do it verbatim, but it did help out a ton. I used Ajax to get specific form data that was like outside of the form. So it was pretty awesome. David Yang, I'll check it out, Corey. Thank you. Yeah, for real, David, check that out. Abheshik, Mr. C. I'm going to call you Mr. C unless you let me know how to pronounce your name. Mr. C says, Vue is so cool. I've heard a lot about Vue. You can see it's getting busy here, so I'll try to speak up a little bit. But it is getting popping here, for sure. But I've heard a lot about Vue and how it's great. If you're doing it for fun, by all means. If you're trying to get a job, I wouldn't do Vue right away. If you're already at your job and you want to do it for fun, by all means, do that. But, when you're trying to get the first job, I don't know if Vue is the way to go. I would study HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery. jQuery is like a simplifier, but it still doesn't, it abstracts away complex things, but it doesn't abstract away like how JavaScript works with like prototype chains and stuff. And so I would use that and then go from there. But that doesn't mean like skip over JavaScript at all. Use some of those courses I've talked about with algorithms and data structures, JavaScript, the weird parts, JavaScript, the good parts is a book that you can do, all those things. We got 11 watching. That is amazing, guys and gals. I haven't had 11 watching in a while. If you're just coming in or you didn't hear, you can go ahead and ask any questions. It's all about Q&A. Also, I will be on Coding Tutorial 360's channel, which is Dylan Israel, talking about working or injecting yourself into the community, the coding community or the web development community, when you work in an area without a lot of developers. So I work in Idaho Falls, and there are not very many developers here. It's actually, I think I'm the only one. I'm the only one that I know that works as a web developer in this entire area, and in the next closest spot, which is 45 minutes away. I guess it's supposed to be strange, but I have these tips and tricks that I use to stay in the loop, of course, and that's why I'm going to be on Coding Tutorial 360's channel. So if you live somewhere really remote, like Trinidad and Tobago, or Idaho, I got some ways to stay in the loop. That includes YouTube, like LinkedIn articles. You could use Medium. I'll just show you what I use or the suggestions that I use. And the funny thing is like, I got a lot of these from working as a social media manager for 8 months. Invaluable, man. Invaluable working that and seeing the analytics and and doing that. What's up, Casey? Nice to see you here. It was nice seeing you yesterday on Dylan's channel. So I appreciate you coming over here today. John says, has anyone read Smarter Ways to Learn JavaScript? Yes. Yes, I'm so glad you brought that up. That is in my video on how to become a front-end web developer. That guy is amazing. He's not the best JavaScript developer, but he was an amazing teacher. He was a college professor for a long time, and his teaching is what brought me up with the syntax. You should all check out that book. You know what, John, I'm going to actually put that up on Amazon to show you where it looks, to show you where it is. David says, hey, Ricky, which of your videos and live streams has generated the most views for your channel? David, that would be like my Udacity review, from a nanodegree graduate, I think is what it was called. So yeah, what's up, Ravi? Hi. Vue is great, but not so many jobs, right? So let's go ahead and pull up that book that I was talking about when learning JavaScript. That book, and John has a bunch of them, or Amazon, what's his name? John Myers, I think. One moment. Several moments. Okay. A Smarter Way to Learn JavaScript. Man, Kindle edition is only $8, and I would get that if I were you, because most of the course material is done online anyways. It's very rapid fire, but it's amazing. So if you are trying to learn HTML and CSS, good book. Now, there are some bad practices in here. You'll have to take that into consideration, but overwhelmingly, the books are great. He has jQuery in here. Check out these books by Mark Myers, not John Myers, sorry. Definitely. What's up, Gene? Thanks for coming by. Oops, you just said it. Vue is not so many jobs. Yeah. Yeah. John says, what do you recommend after reading the book? I would recommend after reading the book going over algorithms and data structures, and also like starting a simple project. I would go through, if you don't know JavaScript too well, go through the book, then go through jQuery, then go through like algorithms and data structures, and at the same time start entertaining the idea of a portfolio, or even starting it, adding to it. I would definitely do that if I were you. So, for sure. Hey, looks like we have some people here, so that's great. Some people came over from that programming club I was talking to you about in Facebook. So let's see what the club is called again. Self-taught programmers on Facebook, if you want to check it out. What were we talking about? Learn JS, yes, for sure. Learn JS, learn JS, learn JS, and practice, definitely. And that's like starting to put this into your own portfolio. Algorithms and stuff are going to help you just learn the language, so you're not trying to like hook it up to like the DOM, and at the same time like make it change something on the DOM, but like staying within the parameters of the language. You know, it separates it and makes it easier that way. And then, whoops, sorry about that. And then you can move on. Is anyone here in the live stream from the Facebook group? Let me know. Let me know. Any other questions? It's been about, what, an hour? It's been 53 minutes. Do you guys have any more questions? Oh, Tronesies was here. But something happened. Sorry, man. Won't let that one slide. Let's see here. It's all cool, man. Try to keep it positive, Tronesies. But I'm always glad that you come by. I appreciate you. John says, what kind of environment do you develop in? Windows, Linux, or Mac? Well, let's take a look here, man. Now, I don't normally develop on this machine, but I develop on Windows, and I will use Visual Studio Code, and I love Visual Studio Code because it has the option to bring up the console in the actual text editor. What do you do? What's your day? I'll get to you, Abshik. I find Windows is great, but I don't know anything else. At home, I use Windows 7, and at excuse me, sorry about that, guys. Infinite loop, I know. At home, I use Windows 7, and at work, I use Windows 10. And I don't really use this setup too much to do web development. I'll just use something like this. You can see you have all your stuff here to look at. And then you have your console here. You can switch between PowerShell and Bash. Multiple consoles. Pay no attention to my my folder name there. Hopefully I don't get flagged for that. But yeah, this is what I use all the time. Then I'll open up a browser and sometimes Photoshop, but not really. And then I'll have 3 screens. So so for screens, I'll have like one here, one there, one there. If you've ever seen like my produced content, one for previewing, one for like the course or the documentation, and one for coding. So, what's my job like, Abshik? Wake up, get dressed, get everyone, you know, ready to go for the day. Go to work, sit down, read the emails, review what I need to do, sit down, code, research, talk to people, code. It's surprising because, like, you know, a lot of people are like, you're not going to be coding a lot at work, but for me, I do a ton of coding and a ton of researching. So, yeah. David says, what project are you currently working on, Ricky? I am working on a React at home. I can't tell you about work too much, but at home, I'm working on a React project that is basically a Reddit clone. And so I have the whole mock-up done already, and now I'm actually coding it out. And I'm so glad I did the mock-up. I did it in Photoshop, because now I don't have any like questions about what it's going to look like, or what font size I should do, or what font type, or what colors. I have that all done. Tronji says, what do you do? No, Tronji says, for PC for gaming, PC for everything, man. PC is getting up there. It used to suck, man, and I even remember, like, even like a few years ago, it sucked compared to Apple. But now they got on their stuff. Insha, Mr. Harris says, do you work remote? I wish. I work in an area where there aren't a lot of developers, but that doesn't mean remote. Like, as far as like the community is, I am very remote. But no, I work in I work in an office. I go into work every day that I'm supposed to. John says, I use that naming convention too. Tell me what you mean by that, John. And oh, you're talking about my repository. Nice. Abshik says, why view jobs are less? My opinion is with view jobs is that they are less because it just hasn't been out as long. You know, React has been out since 2013, I believe, and Facebook uses it heavily. They use it really heavily. The big deal with Angular was like Google didn't use it, so it didn't have that validity. But Facebook uses React. They created React, and they're actively updating it. So that puts some oomph behind it, right? And Vue, I mean, there just isn't a lot behind it yet. So that's why I would think that's why there aren't a lot of jobs. It's been a whole hour. Nice. I don't want to go ahead and leave because, you know, we got 10 here. That's pretty good for a small channel like mine. Let me know your questions. What else you want to do? Oh, and for those of you who haven't asked already, what are your struggles? Like, are any of you from a small area like me? And what are you struggling with as far as like getting getting jobs or getting developer jobs. David says, what does David say? David says, Ricky, I checked out AMD's Threadripper and it was kind of overkill for what I usually use the PC for. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a long sword when I only need a butter knife. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'll use it because I do content creation. But like, if I had to spend a lot of money, anyways, I might as well get the best bang for your buck. You know what I mean? So I would do Threadripper, even though I don't. I have like a Core i7 on my PC, Devil's Canyon. I can't remember what it is, but it works great for me. Neil Floyd says, I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Nice. Are there a lot of developers out there, Neil? Let me know. Cold coffee, gross. Yeah, and after this, I think we're gonna wrap it up because it's been a whole hour. So I think we'll wrap this up. And Inuasha says, I'm a student. What do you think are the best ways to freelance jobs? The best way is to like go in person. That's what I did when I was doing social media. Go in person to some place that you really like. Small businesses are always in demand, or always in need of help, and do something like that. Now, if you can't get a paid job, and it's like your first job, or you're just trying to get into the industry, consider taking something. No, excuse me. Let me rephrase. Consider approaching someone to do a project, and say like, hey, this is going to be like my own personal project. But if you're doing it for a business and they're going to put it out there, then it shows that you can make money for someone. But I wouldn't go that route first, you know. John says, there are opportunities where I live, however, I don't speak the language fluently. Is it English, Romanian? What are we talking about, John? David says, one last question, Ricky. Yeah, for sure, David. Let me know. There are some. We have boot camp space here and some meetups. Nice, no. Nice. I'll take David's question and then we will call it a day. Have you gone by some of your local businesses and seen the problem that some programming could solve, and you offer services to build software for them? Yes, but I'm not skilled enough to do that. Well, I probably am skilled enough now because I'm doing it at work. Like, I'm doing a whole application. But it's not worth it for me yet. But I have done that approach before with social media. And I've made, lots of businesses, tons of money. But I have also done like a website redesign for a company, and the amount of money that they're starting to see is shocking. I mean, it's not like, oh, we made double. It's like shocking. Like, we've made like 10 times as much as we did last year. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I should have raised my prices. But that's all right, because I got the experience, and hey, I did it for a real company. They paid me, and it wasn't a ton of work, But I have thought about that. I just put out like a Facebook message to my, to my network. Hey, I'm looking for a new project. Hit me up if you need a website or something. So that's how I do that. And part of this social media stuff and YouTube just shows that I'm so active in this, that I am qualified to do this, and that helps out a ton. Well, that is it, you guys, for today. It was really good. I think I'll go ahead and try that approach where we put in a link to like some Facebook groups or something, or some groups, and do that, because I think we've had more than we ever have had, or at least in a while, and we had some really good turnout and some great questions. So I will go ahead, do the shopping, do the React course for real. I'm excited. Get my vlog up about the React course, and then film my part for Coding Tutorials channel on injecting yourself into the coding community as a remote developer, and we'll go from there. Thanks for coming. If you are watching this later, you can always send a question in the comment section, and I will get back to it. Thanks, Epsheik, Neil. David, if you have some time, log on Discord and talk to me. Do it, David. Do it. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep learning. Talk to you guys next time.